Today I'm going to be talking about how to manage risk in your Ceara real estate portfolio. Hello there, my name is Luciano Oliveira. I'm a Brazilian attorney. I'm here in Fortaleza, Ceara, and we're going to be talking about how to manage risk in your Ceara real estate portfolio. Let's say you're not buying a property for the first time, you are actually buying multiple properties in Ceara. That's not rare. We have many clients who have been investing in Ceara for a while, and you want to know how to manage risk in general. There are different types of risk, and usually the answer is going to be diversification. The more you diversify, the better the chances of reducing unnecessary high risks, and that's what we're going to be talking about. One major risk in Ceara as a whole is the regulations when it comes to environment. It's not rare for the municipality and the state to fight each other when it comes to licenses to build by the beach. If you're building in the city, you need licenses, of course, but when you are building by the beach, a beachfront property, there is gonna be a need for multiple licenses. And until not long ago, the state, through CEMASI, they keep a very close watch in terms of what's being built, the licenses that people need to get. They are fining, and they are all over the place. So until recently, CEMASI was the only department in charge of issuing the environment licenses for construction in Ceara. Nowadays, there is an effort by the state to allow the municipalities to have its own departments in charge of licensing constructions in the municipality as a whole, and also, of course, by the shoreline. We have been seeing a growing problem between the municipality and the state, because municipalities, of course, they want to have more construction by the beach. They want to have hotels, pousadas, and all types of hospitality establishments. And the state, on the other hand, they want to enforce the mandates to protect the environment. Sometimes these protection measures are exaggerated. They are more concerned about the environment than, of course, the lives of the people who live in those communities. Whenever you have a large construction by the beach, you're gonna have literally hundreds of employees, sometimes working for several years, and this could represent an important source of income for hundreds of families for several years. So in our understanding, there is a need for a balance between regulation, environment, and the economic development of the state and the municipalities. When foreign citizens, they are coming from abroad, they want to build a pousada. So the foreign citizen comes and they get a license from the municipality. There is always a chance that the state is going to come after the foreign citizen and say, you know what, they gave you the license, but I don't think this license is correct. I'm going to fine you for construction over there. And then the foreign citizen is going to say, what? I got the license. And they're going to say, I don't care. You're still violating a state law. So this is a major risk, particularly when you are building, again, hospitality establishments, because if you are investing in the entire infrastructure, you're going to be investing a lot of money. And sometimes this issue is going to be triggered down the road. We supervise some developments here in Ceara, and our advice is, if you're going to have 20 units, 40 units, or 100 units, you're going to start with a small set of units, and you're not going to build an infrastructure for 100 units. You're going to build an infrastructure for just 4 units from start to end. If the state is going to create an issue with this specific development, chances are they are going to create an issue. They are going to show up during this initial pilot construction. And if it is something that you can resolve, great. If you cannot resolve, at least you know that at the beginning of the cycle, if you started with just 4 units, you didn't invest that much money, and you're gonna have more resources to fight a legal battle, to have the state agreeing with your project. In terms of buying multiple properties, many foreign citizens, they like to concentrate in a single area. For instance, we have Portuguese investors in the area of Morro Branco, Beberibe, and they love Beberibe. They don't want to invest elsewhere. But what we saw happening before is like when there is some type of issue. For instance, there was a blanket prohibition for new properties to be built by the beach for several years, and all of these Portuguese investors, they were concentrated in the area, and they suffered really big time because they didn't have investments in other areas to support them during this difficult time in Beberibe, Morro Branco. So our recommendation, even if you love a specific area of Ceara, try to diversify. You don't need to go to very different geographic locations, but maybe if you like a specific area, you could have some investments in that area and other investments in the close by villages or close by cities, because then you are diversifying your investments, and if you face some type of regulation in a certain area, your other investments are going to be free to grow. For those investors who are investing in groups, that's not rare. A group of investors pooling resources together to buy land, to buy properties, to buy hospitality establishments, and you have multiple partners and probably a local business entity in charge of managing and owning the properties. It's always advisable for the group itself to get some type of assessment of the portfolio every now and then. Our recommendation is actually every 6 months. So what we do, we take a look at the incorporation papers of the Brazilian legal entity to make sure that the ownership remains the same, and we also do a random spot check on the deeds for the properties. And what is the purpose? The purpose is for the partners, for those who are investing money over time, to know that everything from a legal point of view remains steady and nobody is selling the shares without the foreign citizens knowing what's going on, and the titles of the properties remain as they should. Again, nobody's selling properties without investors knowing what's going on. Finally, we're gonna talk about insurance. It's much more affordable than insurance in the US or in Europe. Constructions in Brazil, they are usually pretty solid. They are done with bricks, mortar. You don't have those problems like in the US. If there is a lot of raining, if there is flooding, basically the construction is gonna be totaled. You're gonna need to rebuild the entire thing. In Brazil, even if there is flooding, if there is raining, if there are different natural phenomena, the construction usually is going to stand there and there's going to be no need for a lot of repairs. So insurance is going to be pretty affordable. So there is no reason for you to skip on a total coverage in terms of the properties. And so you are completely safe in terms of problems that could happen with the construction. Natural disasters, they are not that common in the Northeast, but now with global warming, you never know. So our advice is take advantage of the cheap insurance and have your properties fully insured. I hope you liked this video. I hope these ideas were helpful to you. And if you like us, follow us for more.